Well, now we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and we're live on with my friends there on TikTokers. So we're live on all the formats, and I am so happy that today is Friday, and hopefully you are as well. It's Friday. That's all we know. Whatever kind of week that you had, whether it be crazy, Mr. Producer had a crazy day, but whatever day you've had, now today is just a time to sit back, kick back, relax, chill. Let's have a good, fun, exciting, just relaxing Friday. That's it. Just for this, because we can worry about things later on. Right now, we're just going to chill. That's all we're going to do. That's all we're going to do. And hopefully everything is running. It looks like everything is running here pretty good. I hope it is. And if it's not, well, just let me know. But I see that everything is running pretty smoothly now. So woohoo. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the presentation. This is the Sacred Division Paranormal Show. I am Bishop James Long. Yep, I'm your host, and I have, I've hosted the Sacred Division since 2003. Yeah, 2003 is when I first did the online radio show. And 2000, just a couple more days. It's going to be, my goodness, 20 years. That's crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, I started on an online radio platform in its infancy when online radio was just beginning, where it was all paranormal 24/7. That's all it was, paranormal shows. And so I started in its infancy, and that, I've been doing it ever since. It's been really, really, time does fly. My goodness gracious. Okay. Well, everybody, first of all, I'm Bishop James Long with the United States Old Catholic Church. I want to thank you so much for being here. Let me tell you, as I always tell you in the beginning of the show, I want you to make sure that you go to the network that helps produce our shows, and that is, the website is www.kgradb.com. Now, folks, if you love the paranormal as much as I do, and I will not apologize to anybody because I love the paranormal, and neither should you. There's some people try to make you feel guilty because you love the paranormal. Well, don't allow them to. I won't. I'm not going to allow them to dictate how I live my life. So I'm telling you, I love the paranormal, and I am completely unapologetic for it because I just, that's something that I've always loved. So if you love the paranormal like I do, then I want you to go to the website kgradb.com, and make sure you subscribe. Now, look, if you're going to subscribe, put Bishop as your promo code. The reason you're going to get 30% off your subscription. And that's very nice. Now, people say, well, you're just saying that because you get a kickback. You can ask Mr. Producer. Not one time have I received 1 penny. Not 1 penny. As a matter of fact, I told Mr. Producer, I don't want a dime. I don't want anything from KGRADB. And he'll validate this. And the reason being is because KGRAD, they pay the bills for me to come on and do the Bible study with you guys. They come on and they for the open mic on Mondays, for tonight's show. They're the ones that pay the streaming. So if they're going to pay it, then let's support KGRADB. That's all I ask. And it's very inexpensive anyway. And they have great shows. They have really fantastic shows. Trust me, you want to check them out. But don't forget, put Bishop as your promo code. Okay, that's really important. Now, also, if you want to go to my website, you can go to bishopjameslong.com. That's the website. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Click on the store link. I do have an online store. And that store, you can get several items there. Also, what's really important is I have classes. Mr. Producer, if you can click on the class link there. Folks, I have online classes. Now, look, I've been in the paranormal for 35 years, actually been in the paranormal. So I've actually worked cases. And I have brought my experience to you through these courses. So you're going to learn genealogy, angelology, paranormal studies, and demonology. You learn all 4 courses. And you learn at your own pace. It's 100% online. And there's no rush. You just take your time with it. So if you want to learn these courses, they're very in-depth. and I'm very proud of them. Again, go to bishopjameslong.com. Well, thank you very much. Oh, and see, Jackie said that Jackie took the courses and she loved them. Thank you very much, Jackie. I appreciate that. And yeah, if you pick, just click on the class link. And now, of course, if you sign up today, you'll have to wait until after the show, and then it's through private Facebook groups, and then I send you the group invitations, and that's it. You take the courses at your own leisure, and it's all online. And again, it's something that I like to do. Now, I probably, who knows, and you never know. For those of you who are tuning into the show, I don't even know. I might give a course. I might give something. I might give a course entrance away. I might choose a lucky winner tonight to say, congratulations, you've been enrolled in the course. You just never know what I'm going to do. I don't even know what I'm going to do half the time. So just chill. You know what I mean? That's what we do here on Fridays. You just don't know. So again, I want you to go to that website, bishopjameslong.com. Now, I want you to also go to usocc.org. And that is the church's website. People always ask me all the time. We're the church. Well, go to the website, usocc.org. Okay. And by the way, we have night prayer tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you would like for our community to pray for you, please go. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's 10 p.m. And you can just simply go to bishopjameslong.com, scroll down to the bottom where it says night prayer, click it. And it takes you right there. It's Spreaker only. Or, of course, on there it is on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Spreaker.com/show/night prayer. Night prayer is all one word. Okay. So there we are. That's all the, you got to, you have to tell all the stories. You have to tell everybody what's going on. You have to tell everybody, hey, look, this is what you need to do. And this is so you just kind of, this is what you got to do. Now, I don't know. Tonight I might give a few things away. I don't know. She just and our studio line is down. Mr. Producer, do we have an update on that, by the way? I don't know if we do or not. We'll have to find out if the studio line is up. Because we have a studio line here, and I think approximately 3 weeks. Okay. So we'll have that studio line hopefully up and running and in time so we can have, some fun times and do giveaways and things like that. So I promise you, we'll work on that, and I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully you are as well. All right, a couple of things. Let me just say this before we get into tonight's topics, and I'm going to talk about a couple of things first. Krampus. We're going to talk a little bit about Krampus. So I'm going to, because Mr. Producer really wanted to learn a little bit more about Krampus, and several of you did too. And of course, our shows were canceled because of the stupid storm. Hopefully everybody's okay. It knocked our services out. So we'll do that, a little bit about Krampus. But also tonight, I want to talk about psychic predictions for 2023. And we're going to talk about some famous psychics and people who are allegedly have all these gifts and abilities. Look, I know that there are people who are gifted. I'm very good friends with several of them. I'm friends with Chip Coffey, and he's a world-renowned psychic. He doesn't need to validate himself at all. He's been vetted through every network you can possibly think of. He's pretty amazing. I'm also very good friends with Willie Windwalker Gibson, and he's a shaman, and he's a very cool guy as well. So, but let me just say this, because I think it's important. I do not believe everything is paranormal. And anyone who goes on social media and says Bishop Long thinks everything is paranormal, and I made a video about this, either one, you don't know me, or two, you're trying to discredit me so that you can get likes, so that you can build your credibility without actually working for it. Let me explain how life goes on here in the paranormal. I've been through the ringer plenty of times. I've had people that I never would have thought would backstab me, who have backstabbed me. I've got so many knives in my bags, I could probably sell at a store. I'm used to that. But I want to make something very clear. If you're going to use my name and try to discredit me, you're going to get a response from me. Let me make that very clear. You know, people can say whatever they want as far as whether or not they like me or not. But when you start attacking my credibility, when you start talking my ministry, that's when you get my attention. Because that is one thing that I have worked very, very hard for. I've sacrificed a tremendous amount of money, time, and effort in helping people for over 20 years and not charging one dime, never charging one penny. So I'm addressing this, and I'm addressing this issue because there are individuals who are doing that, and I have seen several videos where they say Bishop Long thinks everything is paranormal, but I don't. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Practice that first. Okay, now we move on. I just, there's some things I'll put up with, but there are some things that I won't. And that's not what I'm going to put up with. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Krampus, if we can. Believe me, I bit my tongue because there's a lot more things that I want to say, but we're just that's enough. So Krampus, let's talk about that Krampus, everybody. If you want to know a little bit about me, I've already said, please go to the church's website, usocc.org. Okay? usocc.org. By the way, for those of you who are on TikTok, listen to me very carefully. We don't ban or block people unless they do these things. If they're cursing at people, if they're mentioning demonic names, if they're saying some really vulgar things, if they are spamming, then yeah, you're going to be banned. And rightfully so. So the only thing that we ask from everybody is just be kind, no spamming, no mentioning demonic names, no attacking people. Everybody is welcome here, just as long as you just be kind. You know, it seems like a lot of people just their manners. Seems like the manners have kind of been thrown out the window these days. I don't know why, but I'm going to continue to be mannerly, no matter what. All right, Krampus, and then we're going to talk about psychic prediction for 2023. And I'll get to your questions in just a second, guys. Just hang tight with me because at the top of the hour, usually I get into all your questions. Let's talk about that little Krampus. You know, every year in early December, children get ready for St. Nicholas to visit them. Okay, you know, if they've been good, well, he'll reward them with presents and treats. But if they've been bad, well, the story is they'll get a lot more than a lump of coal. They'll have to face Krampus. Now, some of you may think, well, I don't even know who Krampus is. Well, actually, they made a blockbuster movie out of it, and I thought it was a pretty decent movie. I think it wasn't too bad. Who's Krampus, you ask? Well, he's the half man, half goat, who actually comes around every year to chase naughty children and maybe even drag them to his home, to his lair. So actually, it is interesting. European versions of St. Nicholas have long had scary counterparts, like Belsnickel and Knight Ruprecht, who doled out punishment. Now, Krampus is actually one such character who comes from a folklore in Austria's Alpine region. It's really cool, where he's actually been frightening children and amusing adults for hundreds and hundreds of years. So for those of you who don't know, Krampus and St. Nick, Krampus and St. Nick's other bad boys have their origins in pagan celebrations of the winter solstice. So later they became part of the Christian tradition. in which St. Nicholas visited children to reward them on December the 5th or the 6th at this time. Now, around that time, his menacing partner would also visit kids to punish them. And some people say Krampus, especially if you're, and if you're, of course, in the Alpine area, you'd say Krampus. In our English version, we distort it. Hey, it's Krampus, by God. I'll tell you what, I'm Kentucky, in Alpine Austria and some parts of Germany, this day is known as Krampusnacht or Krampus night. So when adults might dress up as Krampus to frighten children and their homes. So children might also have seen Krampus or Krampus running through the streets during Krampuslauf. So it's actually called Krampuslauf. It's that accent. Do it again. No, I'm telling you what. Which accent? The Kentucky accent? No, that just comes naturally. So by the way, Krampuslauf, for those of you who don't know, it literally means Krampus run. So in Krampusnacht, it was a way to scare kids into behaving themselves. The Krampuslauf, which isn't tied to a specific day, was a way for grown men to blow off steam while probably still scaring kids. So Austrian men, so this is what they would do in Krampuslauf. It's pretty cool. Austrian men would get drunk and run through the streets dressed as the fearsome creature Krampus or Krampus. Like Krampusnacht, the Krampuslauf tradition continues to this actual present day. And the introduction of mass visual media couldn't help but sweep the charismatic Krampus up in its wave. When the postcard industry experienced a boom in Germany and Austria in the 1890s, it opened the way for Krampusgarten. So basically, these holiday cards, they weren't meant to make you feel warm and fuzzy. One's marked Gruß von Krampus, means greeting from Krampus, showed Krampus stuffing this child. Now, this is a card. This is a Christmas card. It showed Krampus stuffing a distressed child into his satchel or preparing to hit one of his bundle of birch sticks and hit one of the kids, spank them. And many of these postcards depicted Krampus going after children with his sticks, leading them away in chains or even carrying them off in his bag. That's crazy. So there were also cards that were a little more adult. So Krampus cards in the early 20th century show him punishing children, yes, but also proposing to women. So in some cards, Krampus is portrayed as a large woman whipping tiny men with their birch sticks and carrying them off in her satchel. So yes, Krampus can also be man or woman. So in another, a smiling woman dangles a defeated-looking Krampus in the air, holding his bundle of birch sticks behind her back. So you can draw your own conclusions about, that. But anyway, for over a century, most Americans probably never saw a Krampus card or even know who he was. And that changed in 2004 when art director and graphic designer Monte Beauchamp, he actually published a book of Krampus cards and helped organize an art show inspired by the cards. They're really neat. I've seen them. You can Google Krampus cards, and they're really, really cool. Now, whether or not Beauchamp is primarily responsible for introducing Krampus cards to the United States, Krampus has become sort of like a sort of icon in America. Etsy actually now has a whole section of items inspired by the Krampus cards. And if you don't have time to send cards, you can buy an ugly Krampus sweater to wear at your local Krampus party or your local Krampuslauf. Krampus's popularity in the United States definitely, I think, peaked with the 2015 feature film Krampus, which shouldn't be confused with many other low-budget cramping movies. Although Krampus is relatively new to the United States, this Alpine legend is the original Bad Santa. So it's a mangled, what does he look like? It's a mangled, deranged face with bloodshot eyes, tops a furry black body, giant horns curled up from his head, displaying his half-goat, half-demon lineage. And behind this terror, a dozen more stomp through the snows of the streets of Linz, Austria, among a den of cowbell jangles. So what they would do is it's not just one Krampus. Many of us think the Krampus with the horns, and we think that's the Krampus. Krampus comes in many different sizes and shapes. So Krampus could be the one with the horn, the great big thing, or it could be what you saw in the television in a movie called Krampus, the little gingerbread body of the gingerbread boy. That is a Krampus. Or one of the toys that came out of the bags, that is considered a Krampus. So Krampus comes in many different sizes and shapes according to Austrian heritage or lineage. Now the creatures dash through the streets, chasing giggling children and adults alike, poking them with sticks and scaring some of the realization that they were naughty this year. So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, there is a Linz, that's Lienz. Check that out. It's really cool. Linz annual Krampus parade. It resurrects a century-old tradition. So young men in town, they dress up as the mythical creature, and they parade through the streets, an ancient pagan ritual meant to disperse winter's ghost. And they march dressed in fur suits and carved wooden masks and carrying cowbells. So you see the cowbell, or you see the bell in the movie, dangling. That's actually a legitimate belief in the legend. And again, I'm not saying whether or not Krampus is real or not. I'm just telling you what the legend is. Now, the tradition, also known as Krampuslauf, again, it's Krampus Run. It really is starting to come back in Austria, Germany, Slovenia, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and even in the United States. The creature Krampus has become so popular in recent times that actually there's a comic book series now and parties of his own and even movies. It's really cool. There is a Krampusnacht festival. It's held in Orlando, Florida. And I have some friends who actually have been there before, and they said it is just cray-cray. It's Krampusnacht, Germany, in festival. So you can Google that. It's really, really cool. And again, you see the costumes are amazing. Now, Krampus, by the way, I'm gonna keep saying Krampus because that's how I pronounce it instead of Krampus. Krampus itself historically comes around the night of December the 5th. He tags along, by the way, with St. Nicholas. Yeah, right. That's exactly right, V-Psycho. He visits houses with his saintly pal. That's the belief. That's the legend. While St. Nick is on hand to put candy in the shoes of good kids and birch twigs in the shoes of the bad. And Krampus's particular specialty is punishing naughty children. So again, this is an Austrian legend. And legend has it that throughout the Christmas season, misbehaved kids are spanked with these birch branches. Or sometimes the parents will say, if you're not going to be a good girl or good boy, then Krampus is going to take you. And he's going to take you to his home. And they stuff you into his sack. Like, my God. And they even tell them that they're going to put you in the sack and they're going to be tortured or eaten. Could you imagine? I mean, my gosh, you would have to go to a therapist when you get older because you're thinking, oh my gosh, did I say something bad to my mom? Did I say something bad to my sister or my brother? Because could you imagine that? I mean, I was never taught about Krampus. I was taught about, hey, you got to be good so Santa Claus can visit you. Woohoo, go Santa. But I was never taught if you're bad, Krampus is going to throw you in a sack and he's going to throw you in his lair and he's going to eat you. I mean, I would have to definitely talk to a therapist after that. But it really is cool. I think that's the cool thing about legends. The belief is Krampus is the yin to Saint Nick's yang, and so I think it's pretty cool. In fact, Krampus roots have nothing. If you really think about it, the roots of Krampus has nothing to do with Christmas. Instead, they date back to pre-Germanic paganism in the region. His name originates with the German Krampen, which means claw. And tradition has it that he is the son of the Norse god of the underworld, Hel. And during the 12th century, the Catholic Church attempted to banish Krampus, the celebrations, because of his resemblance to the devil. A little bit of history here. More eradication attempts followed in 1934 at the hands of Austria's conservative Christian social party, but none of it held. And Krampus emerged as a much feared and actually beloved holiday force. Now, for some, the annual festival of child hunting Krampus is fun, but concerns that refugees in the Alpine towns that celebrate Krampus could find their traditional frightful has prompted some towns to consider taming the horror. So this year, Krampus' scheduled arrival in the Alpine towns that celebrated him coincides with an influx of refugees from Syria and Afghanistan. So though the festival is well loved, it gave rise to concerns. Like, let's explain it. So rather than canceling the parade, the town officials decided to educate the newcomers, and they did, about what Krampus is and what it all means. But it really is, though the descriptions of Krampus' appearance vary from region to region, some things remain consistent. He's said to have pointed devilish horns and a long snake-like tongue. His body is covered with like fur, and he looks like a goat crossed with a demon. His body and arms are strung with chains and bells, and he carries a large sack or basket on his back to cart off evil children. Throw them in the basket. And Krampus comes to town the night before the feast of St. Nicholas and visits all the houses to dish out punishment. So if you're lucky, you might just get swatted with a birch branch. And if you're not, you'll wind up in the sack. And after that, your fate is anyone's guess, The legend suggests that you might even be eaten, as I said. Now, sometimes, again, he's accompanied by St. Nicholas. And over the years, Christianity gained popularity in the region. Aspects of Krampus' appearance began to shift, to fall in line with Christian beliefs. So the chains, it's very interesting. The chains that Krampus carries, for example, were not originally a feature of originally the hell's ghoulish son. It's believed that Christians added them to evoke the binding of the devil. It's interesting. And that wasn't the only change that they made. Under Christian hands, Krampus then took on a number of more devilish qualities, like the basket that he uses to carry wicked children to hell. And every evening on December 5th, a night called Krampusnacht, elegantly dressed St. Nick's pair up with the monstrous, just terrible outfitted Krampuses and make the rounds to homes and businesses offering gifts and playful treats. So, some people exchange Krampusnacht greeting cards and depict the horned beast alongside festive and funny messages. And sometimes large groups of people actually dress up as Krampus and run around. Tourists who witnessed the rowdy celebration say that running into a coffee shop won't save you from getting swatted, by the way. And by the way, these swats, if you're an adult and you go to these parades, these swats are not gentle. They're not. The tradition has become an important one in many countries. It has become to include they're very expensive handmade masks, elaborate costumes, and even parades. So check it out. If you've never done it, like for example, Krampus mask, for example, are typically carved from wood, and they're products of significant labor. And artisans often work for months on the costumes. They're beautiful. They're just amazing. If you've never seen them, it's pretty cool. And by the way, in 1923, like I said, the Christian Social Party wanted to ban it completely, saying that it was just evil and that they shouldn't do it. But the ban only lasted for 4 years. And so then it kept going. And by the way, in Los Angeles, it actually hosts Krampus celebrations. So you can Google that, or you can go on YouTube and do that. So there you go. That is the story of Krampus. It really is cool. The thing is, people say, well, I don't know why you're talking about that, because it's evil, it's demonic and all that other stuff, because it's history. It's culture. We all have, I have not been to one of those celebrations, the Krampus celebrations. No. So, but it is, I'm telling you, some of these, I've talked to some friends who've been there. Some of these costumes are big bucks. People spend big dollars on these Krampus costumes. So it is pretty crazy. So for those of you, yep, I'll answer that question in just a second. For those of you on TikTok, howdy. For those of you on Spreaker, howdy. For those of you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, howdy. And of course, KGRADB, hello to all, everywhere, no matter where you are. Welcome to the presentation. I appreciate you being here. For those of you on TikTok, thank you for subscribing. I am so grateful. Thank you for that. And thank you, Tiny. And thank you, the blue, I can't get the blue. Thank you for the gifts. And Canada, welcome. If you're offering gifts to the ministry, thank you. If you're subscribing to the channel, thank you. Moderators, thank you. If you're liking this video, right now we have 51,000 likes already. 51,000 likes on TikTok on this live show. Thank you. I truly appreciate all of you. I really, really do. And for those of you who just subscribed, God love you. I appreciate you helping the ministry continue, and I will follow back. I'll do that after the show. I'll go to all my subscribers on TikTok, and I follow every single person who subscribes. So thank you for that. Okay. All right. So let's talk about 2023. And we're going to talk about some predictions, psychic predictions, on what people, the famous psychics, and what they think 2023. Yeah, Shannon does. All the folks, all the moderators there on TikTok. Finland, Scandinavia. Well, hello there, Finland. The moderators do such a great job. They do. The moderators are just. I'm blessed to call them my friend. I really am, because they work hard, and God love them. So thank you again, moderators. Thank you. And Happy New Year to all of you. Happy New Year to every single one of you. And by the way, I think, you know what? I think we're going to. I think tonight I'm going to give someone a free enrollment to my online class that I teach. Why not? Let's do it. And I might do some more. I might give away a few. You know what? I'm also going to do something else. Why? Because I want to. I'm going to be giving someone a free enrollment to my online class, and I'm also going to be giving someone. This is really nice. A Benedictine, because I'm a Benedictine. Saint Benedict is the patron saint for exorcists. It goes the front and the back. I'll be giving this away to someone tonight as well. And we'll be doing that. So let me put this in the envelope here, or the little container. There we go. So I'll be giving that away tonight. Okay. And I'll be also be giving it. Don't let me forget, guys, because sometimes I forget, and I might, you know what? I'll do 3 gifts because it's always in good 3. And I'm going to give this necklace away as well. That's actually a very beautiful necklace. This here, this is the Benedictine necklace. And that is the front. Okay. And for those of you who want to know more about Saint Benedict, well, thank you very much, Chef James. I appreciate that. Saint Benedict, you can go on my website, and you can learn more about Saint Benedict, and you can learn what the medals mean. So if you want to go to my website, again, it's bishopjameslong.com. And you can go there, and there we go. If you just click on Saint Benedict, or what is it? It's on the link. It says Saint Benedict. It'll actually tell you, there's a picture there to show you what the medals mean, the front and the back. So consider, please go to my website. bishopjameslong.com. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Danny. You have both of them. Thank you very much. Go to my website, bishopjameslong.com. Don't forget, please consider signing up for the course. Please do that. Well, Android says, I heard once that, I don't agree with that. I heard once a priest say plain crosses don't work against demons, only crosses with Jesus on it. Is it true, Bishop? I know. I don't believe that. Now, there's a difference between a cross and a crucifix. A cross is what you're referring to, is without the corpus, without the body of Christ on it. With a crucifix is actually has the body of Jesus on it. So that is the difference between a cross and a crucifix. A crucifix. So I know I have I don't necessarily I understand why he thinks that, but from my perspective and from my experience as an exorcist and as somebody who actually worked cases and still does, I have found there does seem to be an extreme aversion to the crucifixes. But I got to tell you this right now. The moment, and a dear friend sent me this, and I absolutely love this rosary. This is my favorite rosary, and I'm so blessed that she sent this to me because I love it. I love it. Once I hold this out, the rosary, this is a beautiful rosary. Once I hold this and I begin to pray the rosary, the demonic wants nothing to do with it. And I mean nothing. There is an extreme reaction, not just a little. I mean, we're an extreme aversion. The moment that I do this, I begin to pray. And maybe one day, maybe on, I'll teach people how to do the rosary. I pray the rosary every day. I love the rosary. I love the Blessed Mother. I'm very devoted to the Blessed Mother. And for people always ask me, well, why do you worship Mary? I don't worship Mary. No, the Catholics do not worship Mary. We worship God. We venerate Mary. We respect and honor Mary, as we should. But that's me. Can you tell me why, DJ, can you tell me why you believe in God? That's a good question. Well, because because as an exorcist, I have seen things that convinces me without question that God exists. Without question. I can't deny the things that I've seen. And the moment I began using holy water, the moment that I began using a blessed oil, or those are called sacramentals of the church, the moment that I began praying the rosary, there's an extreme reaction to this. And people say, well, it's just somebody who's just playing, someone who's pretending. No, because you can't pretend to levitate. That's not mental illness, and you can't pretend it. There's prognostication or retrocognition. That's not mental illness. You can't fake that. Retrocognition is the ability to know your sins. It's the sins that you've committed. That has nothing to do with, that's not mental illness. You can't fake that. And so these are the things that I've seen. And so the moment that I begin to pray, the moment that I begin to invoke the name of God, and Yeshua, the moment that I begin to the Our Father, the Hail Mary, the litany of the saints, there is such an extreme reaction to that I can't deny what I've seen. Not only that, and I appreciate the question. I think it was Nick who asked me that. Thank you for asking that question. But also because human beings, we know we are not perfect. We have the concept of perfection. So therefore, something more perfect must exist than us. And so I think we are naturally, intrinsically driven towards seeking God. And it is in our very DNA. It's not something that we just go seek God today. No, I think we are naturally inclined to seek something greater than ourselves. And I think because that is so embedded deeply into the DNA, there is something from a logical perspective that there's something there because God draws us to him. Now, where free will comes in, my friend, is you can either say, I don't want any part of it and walk away, or you can say, okay, I'm going to see what this is about. You see? And there's a whole host of others. I mean, my gosh, we could do I could do a whole thing of that. But do I believe in evolution and were we apes? No, I don't. Okay, I don't believe. This is just my personal belief. I believe in development, and I don't know why there's not this. I don't think we have evolution from apes. I don't think happened, but I think we developed into who we are today through the centuries, through the millennium. Because look, if in fact we came from apes, then apes would still be evolving to the point where they become human beings. But we don't see this. Now, we also know, however, apes and gorillas are not as inferior as many thought before, because Coco the gorilla, by the way, knew sign language. Now, some people say, oh, no, she was just trained. No, Coco the gorilla could actually respond to logical questions. So I don't think that we need to think of animals as inferior, that we are superior, that we can do anything, because that animals have rights. I firmly believe animals have souls. But as far as, do I believe that we came from an ape? No. But I believe that there has to be some type of development to who we are today. Now, how that worked and how that looked, I don't know. Because somewhere, if the argument says that we came from apes, then somewhere we kind of went this way and apes remained and stayed. Well, why? Why are apes not, in fact, developing into logical beings, building skyscrapers? So I think I just have a different theory, and my theory is development. So, but that's that's what I think. Lost Wolf says, I watched the documentary on the gorilla. Loved it. Actually, Lost Wolf 9/11, and any of you, I strongly encourage you to watch one of the best movies. If you love gorillas, and just really conservation, the best, one of the greatest movies, Gorillas in the Midst. Sigourney Weaver. I'm telling you, folks, if you've never seen it, watch it. It is unbelievable. It truly is a great movie. And it's called Gorilla in the Mist. It's actually a 1988 film. And it's based on a true story, Dian Fossey. And Dian Fossey, she was, Sigourney Weaver plays Dian, but boy, she was great. Yeah, it's a great movie. It really is. So check that out. If you have not seen it, do it. Also, there's another great movie that I saw. What is that movie? If you've not seen it, I know this has nothing to do with the prediction, so just bear with me. Hold on, everybody. What is that movie? Oh, gosh. Hold on. I'm trying to. Timothy Treadwell. That Grizzly Man. There it is. If you've not seen Grizzly Man, man, that is a great movie. That is a very good movie. It's on a true story. And Timothy Treadwell, he went to Alaska to the Grizzly Maze because he felt like bears needed to be protected. And I have a Bigfoot movie in a minute. And he felt like they needed to be protected. And so he actually lived with the bears. And with no barriers. I mean, he actually was next to them. And it's based on a true story. And I got to tell you something. It's a powerful, powerful movie. Powerful movie. So check that out. If you've not seen it, it's a Grizzly Man. And boy, gosh, it's and I have a friend of mine who is in the industry. And at the very end, I don't want to give too much away. There is a recording. And they didn't air that recording because it was tragedy what happened. I actually have the recording. And it is, oh boy, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. So if you've not seen it, you might want to check it. You might want to watch it. Again, it's a great, it's a fantastic movie. But just watch it. A Bigfoot movie. Watching one of the, I think, the best movies I have seen regarding Bigfoot exists. It's a 2014 film. It's not a high budget. It wasn't high budget, but I personally liked it. I really did. I thought it was a good movie. There was some really intense moments. There were some parts that were like, okay, but seriously, if you've not seen it, check it out. It's called Exist. It's 2014, and it's a good one. Yeah, Harry and the Henderson. That's a good movie too. Of course, that's a good movie. So, well, I'm not gonna. I don't want to ruin it for. I don't want to ruin it for the bear movie because people haven't seen it. So I don't want to ruin it. So called Grizzly Man. Check it out. And there we go. Nope, that wasn't the one with Matthew Broderick teaching the apes. No, check it out. Okay. No spoilers. I don't want to. Yeah, haven't seen. It's called Exists with an S. Well, see, William, the problem is if I tell you what the recording is about, then I might ruin it, and I don't want to do that. So if you've not seen Grizzly Man, just watch it, and then you'll know what I mean. At the end, you'll know exactly what I mean. But I just don't want to tell you what happened because I don't want to ruin it to people. I'm not going to spoil, folks. I'm not going to spoil. Okay, I'm just curious. For those of you who are gifted, Pray for the Devil. Where is it? Well, I don't know where it's filmed, where it's airing. I don't know. They don't tell me where it's airing. So let's see. Pray. Have you Googled it? Pray for the Devil streaming, and I don't know. Well, here, Amazon Prime. I just Googled. So you can go to Amazon Prime, and apparently it is. It's there, and there you go. Let's see, and HBO Max. Just a good, simple Google. There you go. If you got Amazon Prime, and if you have HBO Max, Pray for the Devil is airing there. I did work on Pray for the Devil. There are some really intense scenes in that movie. Really, really, really intense scenes. So check it out. And yep. Crossroads said is a good movie. Yeah. So I worked with Lionsgate with that, and I appreciate them asking me to help. I do. So thank you for Lionsgate. If you're watching later, thank you very much for asking me to help. And I think it's a very, very intense scenes. So thank you. Okay. Pretty intense. It surely is. Okay, let's talk about psychic predictions. Hold on. I haven't seen. I have seen Bless the Child. Why does that sound familiar? Because I know I've seen that. Bless the Child. Let me see. Bless the Child movie. I know that I have. Oh yeah, I have. Yeah. That was in 2000. Supernatural horror directed by Chuck Ross. Yep. Yeah, it's a good movie. When Maggie's sister Jenna saddles her with an autistic newborn named Cody, she touches Maggie's heart and becomes the daughter she has always longed for. Yeah. I like movies that have a real interesting twist at the end. You know what I mean? Like the M. Night somebody, I forgot his name. M. Night Shyamalan. I'm not that great, but he has just this great way of twisting at the very end. And I love movies that's like, wow, how did I miss that? How did I miss it? He does. He has some really, he loves to do that. He loves to kind of push you and then twist and turn it. It's like, wow. So yeah, you might want to check that out. I'm curious for those of you who are psychic. And yes, people are all about, they always attack me. Oh, you're a fake bishop because you believe people are psychic. Whatever. Just go sit down and relax. I believe that there are people who are gifted. I absolutely believe that. I know I have very good friends that are. And I'm not going to deny their ability. I'm curious, what do you think? What are your predictions for 2023? So for those of you, well, I do, Celestial, I do, because people will always use scripture and they will say, "Aha, psychics are evil, psychics are bad." It says in scripture. Okay, first of all, if you don't understand that, 3,000 years of history, language changes. It's not the same. The same words that we use today are not the same words they used 3,000 years ago, and translations occur, mistranslations occur. So I'm curious, for those of you who are psychic, I would like to know, what do you think is going to happen in 2023? Let's see about this. Let's get this. I'm really curious about what you guys think. Well, if you're psychic, that's great. I mean, the thing is, World War III plague from hell in Siberia. Okay. World War III plague. Wow. All right. Who else? Famine. Missy says famine. There'll be more famine. Okay. Empaths, I absolutely believe on empaths. New virus. Economy class introduction of federal digital. Okay. The war will end in Ukraine. 3 day of darkness, horrible weather. Okay. Civil war, earthquake, super volcano. My goodness gracious, there's so many negatives. There's a lot of plague released, horrible famine. Is there anything going to be good? 3 days of darkness. Okay. World currency soon. Yeah. Can we get anything good? Anything good at all? Maybe Bishop Long wins the lottery. Woohoo! Go! All right. A new pope. Yeah. Well, yeah. More people will come back to God. All right. Good. 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 No more COVID. Okay. I don't know cosmic horror. I don't know what that is. Okay. I think we're going to have several more strains of COVID. Okay, I've seen it. Okay, Angela said that. All right. The USLCC will reach even more people. There we go. A leap in technology. Okay, the inner Christ. My wife find her car keys. Okay. Okay, let me just say a few. So there's a lot of things. Let me say something first of all. Before we get into predictions from famous psychics, I want to say something here because I think it's important. There is a brand new, folks. I'm not kidding you, and I am truly, truly disgusted and disturbed by this. But there is a new Ouija board out there. In case you don't know, I'm not a fan of Ouija boards. I'm not going to apologize because I have. Look, folks, I don't get paid for this. You're not paying me one dime to do this ministry. I don't get paid for the church. I don't receive a paycheck. I don't receive a stipend. So I'm not getting anything from this financially. I don't charge people for my ministry and never have. But I'm telling you the things that I have seen and witnessed. And I'm telling the Ouija board is one of the things that has caused so many problems. And as a matter of fact, I was just in another state not that long ago where a family went through pure hell, and it all started because of that stupid Ouija board. Here it is. I can't believe this. The Holy Spirit Board by Holy Spirit Games, a Christian religious talking board for seances with a planchette for $30. I've seen it all. There we go, folks. A Holy Spirit board, a Holy Spirit Ouija board. There you go. No, this is not a joke. This is absolutely legitimate. It's $30. I don't like look, and I've said this a million times. The problem is you don't know who you're communicating with. That's the issue. It gives you immediate conversation with a spirit entity whose essence you don't know, you know nothing about. You don't know its identity. You don't know what it is. You don't know who you're communicating with. And I have had a lot of cases. Again, the one in Michigan was a perfect example where it started with a Ouija board. If there are people who say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with Ouija boards. I play them all the time. There's nothing." Well, you know what? Then you're blessed. Thank God nothing has happened to you yet. You know, that's the problem. People will use a Ouija board and then nothing happens. Oh, I've done it. I've done it a million times. Nothing's ever happened. Nothing has ever happened. And then the 20th or 30th time they played with it, then all hell breaks loose in their home. You got to remember, demonic entities are very patient. They're very patient. So once you give the invitation to communicate with the spirit, well, you don't know who you're talking to. So it could be 5 years, 10 years down the road. And then before you know it, now your life is going to everything seems to be going one problem after another. And you're right. Bad things can happen. You know, it just happens. Your car breaks down. That doesn't necessarily mean it's demonic. But when your car breaks down, your wife or husband leaves you, your dog leaves you, you have this issue, and it's like one thing after another, and it doesn't let up. It's constant. I am not. Look, I'm here to tell you what I've seen. I'm here to tell you what I've experienced. I'm not getting any financial compensation for telling you these things are bad. There's no right-wing conservative group that's funneling me money, saying, "Oh, keep talking, keep saying it, Folks, I have no ulterior motive. The motive is 100% pure. I'm just telling you what I've experienced. As an investigator, as an exorcist, I just tell you what I experience. You know, there's a lot of people, especially on TikTok or even any social media, that likes to go around and use the tagline, "Well, I'm a demonologist," or "I'm an exorcist." And then you ask them, "Well, what's your training? How many cases do you actually work?" "Well, I really don't work any cases." And so how does that make you a demonologist and exorcist? Well, I watched YouTube videos. So you've watched paranormal shows and you watch YouTube videos, and now you're a demonologist. Or now you're an exorcist. You know, what's going on now in the paranormal community and really everywhere is people are saying, "Well, I've been a demonologist for 30 years. Really? And how old are you? "I'm 35. Really? You started as a demonologist when you were 5 years old. Or I'm an exorcist. And how long have you been doing that? 40 years. And you're 45. So you were an exorcist when you were 5. You see, a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people, because they think that establishes credibility. No, it actually establishes that you're a liar. So if you really want to establish credibility, work. That's what you do. You actually work. You take cases and you work them. And you establish credibility by building a reputation in which you never charge. You're always there to help. It's a sacrifice, but that's what you do. That's how you build your reputation, because you take cases, you work them, you don't charge. There's no ulterior motive. You're just trying to help a family. But boy, I tell you what, that's a big problem now. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen it a lot. It's crazy. It is crazy. Okay. Now, let's get into my prediction here. Well, not my prediction. By the way, okay, if someone claims to be a psychic and they give a prediction that Pope Benedict Emeritus is going to pass away soon. You don't need to be a psychic to know that. I mean, really, seriously. The man is 95 years old. It was said on the world news that his health is failing, that he is deteriorating, and may he rest in peace. And he's not passed away, but so may that when that time comes, hopefully it's peaceful. And wish him, many, many happy years in for eternity in heaven. But he's very, very ill, and he's 95 years old. And so a lot of people are saying, well, I predict that Pope Benedict will pass away soon. Okay. Well, you're a future, you're a Nostradamus, aren't you? It's not really, it doesn't take a genius to know that. Okay. Oh yeah. I agree with you about the money situation. 100,000 likes on TikTok, 100,000 likes. That is really, really cool. Thank you very much. We've got a message you don't want to hear. What? So check out his, 20, be up tomorrow. Very fascinating, but everything I've heard him say is 100 years in pretty, who? Sky Guy, 8888. But you just got to, I don't understand. So check out his YouTube for 2023. Should be up tomorrow. Very fascinating. Everything I've heard him say over the years is pretty much 100% right. But you just got to remember, just don't get mad at the messenger when he's got a message you don't want to hear. I don't know who you're talking about there, Sky Guy. Somebody's charging $500 an hour. Yeah, let's not advertise for somebody's charging $500 an hour. Okay. Okay. I mean, I understand psychics have to charge, and I get they got to pay their bills, and I understand that. But I'm getting a little tired. See, you guys don't get the phone calls. I do, but I'm getting a little tired of psychics charging an arm and a leg to people who are dealing with demonic entities, and they charge them an exorbitant amount of money for several sessions, 6, 7, 8 sessions. And then at the end, once they realize the money is gone, then they say, oh, talk to Bishop Long. He'll help you. Because I don't charge. No, that doesn't work that way. That doesn't work that way. I'm not the cleanup crew here. I'm not going to be the one, well, now I'm going to give them a free service because you just ripped them off for $4,000 or $5,000. I don't think so. No. But that's occurring a lot. A whole lot. Just this week alone, I've got 31 phone calls from people who have, paid over $2,000 to people who claim to be psychics, who can help them with demonic entity issues. And then once the money runs dry, then the psychics will tell them, well, go speak to Bishop Long. He'll help you, because they know I don't charge. You see, that's a scandal. I don't like that. I don't like that. But there are very few. There are psychics out there that they will say that's enough. Like Chip Coffey. Chip Coffey is a good friend of mine. He will not, like, if someone passes away and you want to make connection, he'll do 1 or 2 and that's it. That is it. Because there are people that are so desperate, and they will, put a second mortgage on their home. And Chip says, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So that's quality. Okay. Yeah, I'm good friends. I love Chip. He's a great guy. Baba Vanga. Baba Vanga's predictions for 2023. So for those of you who want to know Baba Vanga, well, the predictions of the famous Baba Vanga has always arisen curiosity in the minds of people, especially the ones who believe in astrology. Well, in 1911, in Bulgaria, she was born and became popular as a mystic and herbalist. She passed away in 1996, by the way. Due to a deadly storm, Baba Vanga was swept off her homeland and lost her vision, and due to the deposit of sand in her eyes. So that's what happened. A few days after this incident, she surprised everyone with her predictions about the future of the individuals and the world. So even though she has lost her vision physically, she gained spiritual visions, which she uses extensively for the good of mankind when she was alive. Now, she started initially as a local fortune teller, And soon her psychic abilities caught everyone's attention, and people started queuing up at her doors. It was believed that 85% of her predictions proved to be right. Now, previously, she made accurate predictions about the 9/11 terror attacks as well. And the blind woman, Baba Vanga, has predicted series of future events and created a repository for them and for future generations to use for their benefit. Now, some of her predictions are so right that they can even send shivers down your spine. Two predictions made by her for the year 2022 came to be true. She had foreseen water-related havoc happening in several nations in the form of floods. Many parts of Portugal and Italy had experienced droughts, as per her prediction. Also, she reports state that Australia and several Asian nations have devastating floods in 2022. Now, 2023 is right around the corner, and she made some predictions there, and we're going to find out what she actually predicted. And of course, this is from Boldsky.com. And now let me just explain what she predicted. Okay. And some of it's not so great. Weapons. Baba Vanga predicted that a biological attack will be launched by a developed country on people. It's very much reminiscent of the Russian-Ukraine war that happened recently, that's still happening. President Putin has also warned of a nuclear attack on Ukraine. Now, it may sound strange, but it is hoped that this prediction of Baba Vanga should not turn out to be true. This, if it really turns out to be true, can result in mass destruction and have disastrous consequences. The Biological Weapons Convention of the United Nations banned such experiments. Now, despite this ban, several countries are believed to be secretly engaged in creating these weapons. So she also predicted, and this is kind of scary to me, a solar tsunami. A solar storm or a solar tsunami is believed to occur and is going to be in 2023 as a result of which the Earth's magnetic shield will be fatally destroyed, predicted by Baba Vanga. This delicate equilibrium of Earth will be toppled fatally if these predictions come true. You see, solar tsunami's prophecy by Vanga predicts that a massive solar storm will terminate the entire earthly existence. As per Baba Vanga, solar storms will cause blackouts and communication failures. Solar storms, as powerful as nuclear bombs, are bursts of energy from the sun, which send electrical charges, magnetic fields, and radiation towards the Earth. So the powerful storm predicted by Baba Vanga is believed to result in total destruction of technology and is said to move mankind back to the Dark Ages. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. She also, Baba Vanga predictions, world covered in darkness. Okay, well, according to Baba Vanga, millions of earthly inhabitants would die in an alien attack on the Earth. Baba Vanga's 2023 predictions also state that Earth's orbit will change. The Earth remains in precarious balance in the cosmos, wherein even a slight shift may cause a massive change in the climate. The situation then would be really alarming. You see, if the Earth moved closer to the sun, it would suffer increased radiation and scorching temperatures. If it moves away, the world could descend into an ice age with increased hours of darkness. All right. She also predicted a nuclear explosion in Asia. So it's an explosion in a power plant may lead to the formation of toxic clouds, which will fog the entire continent of Asia. Other countries, too, get affected by serious diseases due to this change. Now, we have survived Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings, Chernobyl. We should be ready to digest this as well. Now, national leaders right now are more concerned about a nuclear disaster in Ukraine. Ukraine is on the brink of a nuclear disaster as Kyiv blames Moscow for nuclear blackmail. Russia continues to be in control of a very powerful nuclear power plant, but the war is continuing to occur around them. Now, Baba Vanga also predicts humans in laboratories. Now, this is quite interesting. In 2023, she predicts humans will be produced in laboratories. Prospective parents can pick the color and characteristics of their choice for the yet-to-be-produced unborn child. The process at birth will be under human control, and the problem of surrogacy would end along with this discovery. Natural birth will be banned, and laboratory babies will be the citizens of tomorrow, as per Vanga. Now, here is a little bit of an issue that you may or may not know. People can already do this. And I had a I don't. It looks like I don't have it here, but I had a report that stated that now you can go into these laboratories and you can choose the color of your child's eyes. Of course, the male or female. There are several things that you can do. Yeah, I must have deleted it, but you can actually do that now, and that is concerning. Yeah, certainly they would have. I believe they would have a soul, but just the fact that you can go in and change the genetics is pretty scary. Um, so, and by the way, it doesn't sound very good. I mean, now she says future predictions. The Bulgarian mystic prophesies that in 2025, Europe will be left with only remains and memories of people. 2028, we're going to tap into a new power source and walk on planet Venus. Sea levels will rise in 2033. Time travel, if you want to time travel, that's going to happen in 2288. So, well, a little bit of problem. In 3797, there will be no one on Earth. And 4599, immortality will be achieved by humans in 5078. Well, we already have immortality. It's called heaven. So that's pretty interesting. There you go. That's some of your predictions on Baba Vanga. I don't know. There are some things that are legitimately concerning. A solar flare could actually happen. So that's absolutely 100% legitimate, which could be a problem. Could be that could be a problem. Now, Nostradamus. Most of you know about Nostradamus. Almost 118,000 likes so far on TikTok. You guys are rocking it. Thank you, TikTokers. Thank you. Okay, Nostradamus's predictions. This is from I believe ASUSA.com. So, excuse me. It says here, Nostradamus, among other things, the soothsayer predicts a mission to Mars. We've already done that. The resignation of Pope Francis, and a new world order in the new year. Okay. So Nostradamus, for those of you who don't know, it published a book in 1555 called The Prophecies, a book called The Prophecies. And so among the great historical events that supposedly were anticipated by Nostradamus in the Great Fire that devastated London in 1556, which he predicted, assassination of Henry IV of France in 1610, atomic bombs, the assassination of JFK, Hitler's rise to power, the French Revolution. So what are his predictions for 2023? Well, the most recent episode linked in his book was the death of Queen of England in September and the coronation of Charles. It says here, after the sudden death of the first character, it will be changed and they will be put another in his kingdom. His words roughly translate to, therefore, as we head into the new year, our attention once again turns to the famous book. So among the most relevant predictions in 2023, here they are for Nostradamus. The resignation of Pope Francis. So during the next few months of 2023, Pope Francis will leave his post, according to Nostradamus. His prophecy indicates that his place will be taken by a very dark and dangerous man who will cause a scandal, like the Catholic Church hasn't already had enough. So there we go. That is what Nostradamus predicted, that a dark and very dark and dangerous man will be his predecessor. And in a few months, January, February, March, April, somewhere around then of 2023, allegedly, Nostradamus says Pope Francis will leave. Let's remember these. Let's keep them in your mind. Also, he says, an explosion of a nuclear bomb and climate change. This will cause a great depopulation in many countries, especially in Europe. He said, quote, for 40 years, the rainbow will not appear. For 40 years, it will be seen. For 40 years, it will be seen every day. The dry land will become drier, and there will be great floods. So in other words, great. We can continue to copy paste that every 12 months, basically. He says mission to Mars. In a fragment of quatrain to his prophecies, he suggests that a light would fall on Mars. Oh, well, we've already been there. It should be remembered that the American businessman Elon Musk has stated publicly and on several occasions that he hopes to land on Mars in 2029. And with NASA's renewed movements towards the moon and onwards, you never know. Also, he, believe it or not, he predicted great crisis in the United States. Great. That's all we need. Woohoo. Thanks, Nostradamus. So it says here, he said to have predicted more conflicts in 2023, as well as instability and social discontent in the great country of the North. Wonderful. That's all we need. And New World Order. So he refers to the union of two forces, one masculine and the other feminine. In his words, this is what he says. Their alliance will be short-lived, as will its good effects. So expect numerous examples trying to, to get this one, try to figure out what he's talking about. That's a lot of people are absolutely convinced that Nostradamus was, one of the greatest seers. And but I don't know. There's a lot of people who kind of debate that. And by the way, there's some other predictions that I want to point out too that I did some research on, and I want to share them with you. Some of them are pretty like, huh? So IFL Science says this. These are interesting. It says it's at time again when news outlets begin publishing the big list of things that allegedly people are going to predict. So last year, predictions included everything from famine causing people to eat their own fellow man, cannibalism. In despair after honey becomes more expensive than candles, to the robot uprising and human extinction. Well, here it is. Some news outlets have claimed that Nostradamus predicted the rise of the Antichrist sometime around 2023, who will then wage war against the unbelievers. It says here, the Antichrist very soon annihilates the three. 27 years his war will last. The unbelievers are dead, captive, exiled, with blood, human bodies, water, and red hail covering the earth. So the New York Post writes that this could refer to Putin really crowbarring world events to fit Nostradamus' words. Also, a disaster on Mars. So among the stranger lines of Nostradamus is one predicting that the light of Mars will go out. And some people think that means some form of disaster will happen to a planned Mars trip, rather than Nostradamus predicting Martians and things like this. He also predicted a Buckingham Palace on fire. Hope not. So putting the whole Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary in perspective, some outlets are saying that Nostradamus predicted that Buckingham Palace will be set on fire by an asteroid. So the passage written before Buckingham Palace was built merely refers to a celestial fire on the royal edifice. Though, again, nothing has happened yet, but that's what, an asteroid apparently crashing into Buckingham Palace and catching it on fire. Now, he said that's going to happen in 2023. And then the famine. One passage mentioned the rising prices of food causing people for cannibalism. Nostradamus, come on. Says no abbots, monks, no novices to learn. Honey shall cost far more than candle wax. So high the price of wheat that man is stirred, his fellow man to eat in his despair. Well, let's hope that doesn't actually come true. It doesn't. Have you ever noticed that when, and I'm just saying, when all these predictions occur, have you ever noticed? Is there anything good? Is there anything good? I mean, can we predict that people are going to be nice one day? I mean, there's got to be some good news. There's got to be some good news. Why is it always, have you ever thought about it? It's always seemed to be so, gloomy, just man. But I don't know. What are you going to do? And I'll answer your question in just a second. It's a dark world. It is. And this is from Fodor's Travel. And they said that we talked to 6 hotel psychics, and these are their predictions for 2023. And they say, yep, hotel psychic is a thing. These days, hotel guests aren't just enjoying pillow menus and room service, they're also getting a peek into the future. So the in-house fortune tellers at 5 North American hotels want to tell the world what's coming in the new year. So, okay, let's see what's going on here. Prediction number 1. I don't know about this one. The prediction was will be over. We will be over. Society will be done with social media. It says, come to the location in the heart of Newport, Rhode Island, and stay for the tarot. With its jewel-toned decor, bright patterned throw rugs, and elegant secret bar, the Vanderbilt Resort Collections attracts lovers of interior design, but it also offers an on-site tarot card reader every evening. So to make her 2023 predictions, Julie Pierce pulls cards from the 3 decks. She says, she said, we will retreat from social media and the news, and we will become united, she says. We're heading into the age of Aquarius, and that will be a time of consciousness. 2023 will be introspective, unified, and free of power mongers and power plays. I don't see that happening. That's just me. I hope that we'll be united. But as far as removing ourselves from social media, I don't see it. There's another prediction. Here's some good news. 2023 will have a lot of 2022 energy. We don't want that one. Consider OJ Valley, California's reputation as electromagnetic spiritual vortex. It stands to reason that 222,000 acres would have a spiritual advisor. Her name is Nancy First. And this is what she says about the new year. First says, though in terms of continued fluctuation, upheaval, and uncertainty, 2023 holds much of the same as 2022. We can also expect increased frequencies of light and energy transmissions, unexpected downloads of inspiration, creative solutions, sudden openings for transcendence and healing. Well, that would be nice. I think that's a good news there. That's very good news. There's another prediction that 2023 will be the year of the creator. So listen to this. In Chicago, one of the perks of staying at Ruby Room guest rooms is a 10% discount on treatments at the Healing Spa and Education Center Ruby Room. So the chakra sound baths and Reiki certification courses, etc., begins with essence reading. So the Ruby Room clairvoyant, Leslie Stevenson, says this: in 2023 will be the year of the creator. We will wake up to our inner magic. And this is the year to write down our intentions, to focus, to prioritize, ignite your heart, make a wish, create. See, here's the problem. That's exact, Kathy, you read my mind. You must be psychic. Here's the problem with that. Those are so vague. Those are so, and again, I'm not to impugn, anyone's ability, but those are so vague. I predict that again, Pope Emeritus Benedict is going to pass away. Well, duh. I mean, the man's 95 years old. His health is failing. Again, they said it on the world news that he is in grave condition. I mean, if you're going to try to pass yourself off as a psychic and you predict that, I mean, that's not, hello, okay, Einstein, really, seriously. I predict that there will be kindness in 2023 on some people. Oh, wow, that was a stretch. You see, they are so vague. I don't like these vague predictions. It's ridiculous. I predict that in 2023, I'm going to be teaching Bible study. Come on. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Too vague. Okay, here's another one. And then here's another one. Be wary of your deadlines in New Year. Well, that's a mind. Hotel Casadega in Florida is a hotel and psychic center. Fine. In one, the hotel spiritual advisor, Grace De La Rosa, in 2023 will bring abundance on a holistic level, as well as a desire for much needed rest and relaxation. I mean, with all due respect, that's not a prediction. Lori Mae Alexander, the psychic specializing in this, adds 2023 adds to the number 7. Okay. A lucky number that signifies the completion of a cycle. The vibration of the planet is rising. Pay attention to deadlines in your life. Come on. You see what I mean? Look, this is what I'm talking about. That is so vague. And again, I'm not trying to impute or be mean or be hateful. I just don't like vague things. I predict that you're going to have a bad day at work. Oh wow, boy, that's a good one. You see what I'm? Come on, that I don't like that type of stuff. That type of stuff is nonsense. You know that anybody. I predict that somebody in your family in 2023 is going to get sick. That's stupid. I'm just being honest with you. That's stupid. If you have family members and you consider your friends are your family, then a lot of us have people who get sick. That's not a psychic prediction. That is common sense. That doesn't make you a psychic. So if you're using basic common sense statements like that, then you're not proving anything, except for you just made a common sense. I predict that someone you know will become pregnant. Okay. Wow. I have 12 months in 2023. I mean, chances are one of us, most of us will have a friend or acquaintance that we may know that gets pregnant. You see, that's what I'm talking about. It's stupid. That's not psychic. Folks, that is not psychic. I'm sorry, it's not. It's just not. I predict that in 2023, the political arena is going to get ugly. Duh. I mean, 2023, they're going to start ramping up because, hello, 2024 is the presidential election. You see, that's what I mean, folks. That's what I'm talking about. That's absurd. That's not a psychic prediction. That's using common sense. We all know that the political arena is going to get really ugly in 2023. We know that. You got it? See that I'm not trying to be mean, but you got to sift through the nonsense. You got to do that. If you're going to predict something, then predict it. I predict this person is going to, or this movie, I predict this movie in 2023 is going to, whatever. I predict, be specific. Here's another prediction. Again, I'll just say the Mexican Riviera. I'm not going to say who. This person says this, or Andrea Ray says this. 2023, we will reach a truce between the mind and the heart. I don't even know if I want to read any further. A truce between the mind and the heart. As we move into a collective awakening of consciousness, we will emerge from our slumber, transforming like butterflies after a metamorphosis. I need something in this water besides lemonade. Okay. That's horseshit. Plain and simple. Okay. And we're gonna wrap this stuff up. And he says, I predict this is making the bishop upset. It just, I just, this is stupid. Okay. This person, I'm the psychic who predicted COVID. Here's what's coming in 2023. All right. Okay. So Nicholas Ajula, a self-proclaimed psychic from London, reveals his political and pop culture predictions for 2023. All right. Let's see what it says. And again, this is on New York Post. Okay. What are you saying? He claims to have predicted back in 2018 that an influenza disaster would devastate the world, which he says was COVID. He's credited for forecasting President Donald Trump's election loss well before the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as the unprecedented fire of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Okay. Julia 37 also had a hunch about Kim Kardashian's divorce from Kanye West and Prince and Meghan Markle's explosive Oprah interview. So now he's setting his sights in 2023, revealing 8 visions. All right, so let's go and see what he has to say. I'm not going to read all 8. I'll just simply say this. King Charles will experience health issues. He's 74 years old. The man is 74 years old. He's going to experience health issues when you're 74. Okay, let me try. So Ajula says King Charles facing health issues related to his heart or circulation. The king turned 74 years last month. You're making a prediction based on what you've seen, because people have talked about his hands actually are blue sometimes. That it's been reported now for quite some time, several years. His red palms raised eyebrows in September after he endured several days of shaking hands with citizens following his mother's death. Now, he also says the economic crisis will stretch longer. Economists have been saying this. That's not a secret. The UK recently slid in a recession for the first time since 2008 financial crisis. British Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt revealed last month. Blame was placed on the war in Ukraine, persisting supply chain issues spurred by the COVID-19 pandemic. So he says, I think the economic decline is going to be very long-term and could be something that lasts 6 or 7 years. He continued, I think the worst will come at the end of the decade. We'll go into recession and things will get better. Then we'll have another. I think there'll be a double recession globally. As a result, we'll see many job losses and companies closing down. He says also that the Conservative Party will suffer crisis in the summer. That's in England. Britain's Conservative Party had a whirlwind year, ousting Boris Johnson and Truss in quick succession. In October, there's another. Sunak became the UK's 3rd prime minister in 7 weeks. He says, I feel that the Conservative Party will have another crisis in the summer between June and August. He also says a British cyclist will break a record. Not all of his visions are doom and gloom for Britain, by the way. Julia says he envisions citizens celebrating a major cycle win into 2023. I see someone with a British flag on a bike that's broken some kind of record. Okay. He says Madonna will experience some sorrow. So in pop culture predictions, Madonna could use some prayers because he says she is due for some form of sorrow. I feel like she's going to have a tough year ahead of her. Julia said of the Material Girl 64, whose physical appearance as of late has shocked fans. He says Beyonce could question her relationship. Julia added that Beyonce may be going through a bit of a change and transition in her life. Could question her relationship. Beyonce and Jay-Z tied the knot in 2008. The power couple have weathered various scandals in their marriage, share 3 children. Julia says that the public figures' platforms help society. All I could see was the full Monty, he said, of specific vision. It sounds like quite lighthearted, but it was actually to raise awareness of cancer, testicular cancer. Well, okay. Now, in early 2020, Julia predicted Paris Hilton would announce she's having a baby. Lindsay Lohan would fall into scandal. Jennifer Aniston would start a significant new relationship. Well, Hilton has not given birth. Aniston said recently she'd love a new relationship. And Lohan, meanwhile, has scandals on the daily basis. So that's not really much of a prediction. So again, we'll see. But when some of these predictions are just downright stupid, and they just are. Okay. So, all right, let's get to some of your questions, and then we'll go. Yeah, you're right. And Sky 8888. But guys, I have said this now on TikTok many times. People are spreading the lie that the Euphrates is all dried up. It is not. That is not correct. That is purposeful misinformation to frighten people. I talked about this not that long ago. There is a director of, I forgot what it was, natural sciences in Jerusalem or in Israel. He has stated by, I think, 2035 or 2040, I can't remember what it was, it will be dried up by then. But there is still water in Euphrates. It is not all dried up. So just please understand that. And by the way, I want to remind everybody, this Sunday, starting this Sunday, I am going to start teaching once again about the book of Revelation. I do it on Sundays, and I will be doing it on Wednesdays. So if you want to learn Revelation, I go verse by verse. I break it down, and I explain to you what it means. So if you want, make sure you're tuning in. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Having a great holiday. Thank you. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, and it is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. And it will be airing on right here on all the platforms that you're watching except for KGRADB. It airs on my Facebook, YouTube, and my Twitter, and on my page here. And it'll air on TikTok. It'll air also on my Spreaker. So this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have Bible study for the first hour. Then for the second hour, I will go into Revelation. So remember, it's Sunday and Wednesday. And Sunday and Wednesday, it's going to be two different lessons. I'll continue it because it takes a long time. Is that a prediction? By the way, if you want to know where I am on Facebook, all you got to do is go to my website, bishopjameslong.com. bishopjameslong.com. And scroll down to where it says social medias. And my social medias are there. So just YouTube, click it right there. It takes you right to my social media page, my YouTube page. Same thing for Facebook, same thing for Twitter and TikTok. So there we go. It's all there for you guys. Just go to Bishop James Long and it's right there. Yep. Oh, you're very welcome. And I appreciate doing this. I appreciate, this is what I try to do and try to do as much as I can. Oh yeah, let's get two more subscribers. Let's get 2 more subscribers are saying. And right now we're at 159,000 likes on TikTok. 159,000 likes. That is amazing. Thank you. We ever heard of a scapegoat they sent down to the desert and all of the sins of the village on it to be torn up by a demon? No, I have not heard that. I've not heard that. I've lost a lot of weight. Yep. Well, thank you. I have. I'm exercising. I exercise. I walk 5 miles every single day, and I drink a lot of water. So I drink about 12 bottles a day. So I hydrate, and I just watch what I eat. And so this is what I do. That's the secret. You got to drink a lot of water. And that is what you do. Poltergeist. I've had poltergeist cases before. Actually, I would say probably the worst poltergeist. It was a fire. And by the way, the number one form of destruction with poltergeist is a fire. And poltergeist means noisy ghost, but it's actually it's energy, negative energy that an individual is emitting, who's going through extreme emotional distress. So I've absolutely found that as well. By the way, did you know this? Oh, thank you very much. This is kind of concerning because when I read this, I thought, boy, I don't know if I like this. But this is and again, this regardless of your political affiliation. But Fox News report this. It said here 2 in 5 Americans, nearly half of Christians, believe that we are living in the end times. They just did a poll. Boy, that's very interesting. It says there's a large swath of Americans across the religious spectrum believe that they are living in the last days of humanity. A recent study showed nearly 2 in 5 Americans, including both Christians and religiously unaffiliated, responded affirmatively when asked if they believe we're living in the end times. It's a Pew Research study last month. The study addressed Americans' views regarding the earth, environmentalism, climate change. A specific portion addressed respondents on their views on the end of the world. Now, that's interesting. At 58%, we're doing a poll. Thank you very much, Jax. 58%, a majority of respondents did not believe they were living in the end of times, but approximately 4 in 10, 39% said they believe we are. Wow. And just on TikTok right now, it says the question is, we're going to do it. Okay, we got 4 minutes and about 40 seconds left. So far, 80%. And of course, that's going to change over the time. But it looks like now we're at 75% said that we are. So we'll have to put that up and see what the end result is going to be. That's going to be pretty cool. Well, Chris, there's a lot of people asking me about where can I go to be an exorcist. Well, first of all, I always tell people this is not something you seek. This is something that you take to prayer because God has called you to do this. This is a calling. It's a ministry. It's not something you seek. Because when you're seeking that, are you doing it out of ego or what's the point? Because if it's not, it's a calling. This is a ministry. And so I would always, I would talk to your pastor. That's always the very, very best, decision you can make. And hopefully they can help you and move forward from there. But that's interesting that a lot of people, that's really, now they even broke it down, which is really interesting. Well, we're at 75% said yes. Okay, we still got a minute to go or so. Most of those who believe the end is near were self-professed Christians, 47% of whom believe they are living in the last days. The study further broke down the statistics to determine that 14% of such Christians believe that the end of the world will culminate with the return of Christ and that the conditions of the world will worsen until then. Now, what's really interesting, they broke it down into specific, even to groups. Black Protestants, 76% said we're in it at the end of times. And evangelicals, 63%, were the most likely to believe they're living in the end times. Mainline Protestants, 31% believe that. And Roman Catholics, 27% believe that we are living in the last days. Yeah, when I read that, I thought, boy, that's pretty interesting to note to see that. Okay, so we're gonna wait for that the end result of that in just a second, but that's pretty interesting. Can you imagine? 2 in 5 Americans believe that we're at the end times. That's a little scary. I don't know. That's right. Euphrates still has water. Okay. I'm trying to think of how we can do this to be fair. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this. The first person to answer this question will definitely be able to get this. Hold on, I gotta the security crap. It's like drives me crazy. Security is good, but it's like, man, come on. Hold on, I gotta figure it out. But where is it? I'm trying to get. I don't have the other. Daggone it! I don't have the ministry phone with me. All right. Just hang tight. I'll just do it this way. Because I said I'd give these gifts out, so I'm going to do it. But I got to, and I don't want to walk away, and I might have to anyway. Oh gosh, darn, it won't work. Okay, I don't want to do this, but I did promise that I'd be giving away the thing, so I'm going to be right back. No, I don't want to do it next week because I promised. I gave people my word. So hold on, because I'm going to do something next week anyway, and I thought of it. So hold on, I'll be right back. Just hold on. Okie dokie. There we go. All right, I'll plug that one up because I gave people my word and I want to keep it. All right. Here's the question that I have for all of you. I gave a story earlier about Santa Claus. You get this little thing here, the Benedictine necklace. For anybody who can call this number and tell me who is the counterpart of Santa Claus, 502. And again, hold on. People are like, hold on, wait a minute. Let me give you the number. It's 502-531-3827. Nope, you got to call in. 502-531-3827. You got to call in, folks. You got to call in. 817. Hello, 817. Who are you? Hello. Hello. If you don't say hello to me, I can't help you. Okay, stop calling. Hello. Okay. Let's do this one. Area code 469. Hello. Who is calling? It's okay, folks. We have a winner. You can stop calling in. Folks. I'm being slammed. You can stop calling in. Hold on. Everybody, just relax. You can stop now. We've got a winner. Okay, what is your name here? Let me get this headset off. What's your name? Jeff? All right, Jeff. Now, what state are you calling from, Jeff? Oh, good old Texas. Okay, well, let me just put you on speakerphone. I couldn't do it because millions of people were calling me. Okay, so do you know the answer, Jeff?
Krampus.
Krampus is right. You got it, folks. Please stop calling in. We got a winner. So, Jeff, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go on Facebook, and I want you to send me a message. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Producer. Send me a message but make sure you go to the right one. Facebook. People are calling in. You hear that ding, folks? We have a winner. Facebook.com/Bishop James Long. Again, Facebook.com/Bishop James Long. Make sure you go to the one that says Bishop James Long, all one word, and just send me a message and say, hey, I'm Jeff. I'm the one that won, and I'll send that out to you on Monday. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Thank
you for your show.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Well, congratulations, Jeff. You got it. Now, so, folks, you don't have to call anymore. It's over. Jeff won this. Sorry, folks. Jeff had won it. I mean, so I'm going to put Jeff on here. That way I'll know this is for Jeff. And Jeff, if you're watching, I'm going to put, I'm putting Jeff's name on this right here. There's Jeff. All right, Jeff. That way I'll remember. Congratulations, Jeff. You got that. Okay, I've got to find this. Hello, this is Bishop Long.
Hi, is it Krampus?
Well, it is, but we've already have a winner.
Oh, darn.
But well, I'm getting ready to ask another question, so make sure you get ready, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thanks for calling. All right, hold on. You're like, oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Now you don't know what the question is, so don't call. If you call, then I'm going to say I'm sorry. That is the ringtone is from The Mission. I love The Mission. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, The Mission. So this one right here is the beautiful necklace right here. And when you send me a message on Facebook, if you win, tell me what you won so that I remember. No, it's not a child. It's The Mission theme song. Okay. Oh, you're talking about the person who called. So this is what you're going to win, this one. And here is the question. I need to know the website, www.what of our producer. What company produces the show right here? I need to know what it is. www.what. And you have to give me the initials. It's our initials that Mr. Producer works for. For you got to do it. You got to call in. If you don't call in, I can't help you. So that's it. Come on. Ding dong. Let's go. TikTok. Yeah. Bill says, can I call in? So you got to call in, folks. Oh, Shannon Long's going to call in. Okay. Yeah. Shannon Long.
www.wkgdbt.
KG what?
KGBDTV.
I am so sorry.
Listen, hold on. Stop before you say anything. They want to know when you're getting more St. Michael's necklaces in.
I have them. I have some in now.
Okay, good. Everybody's.
I'll send you. I'll send you one anyway. So I'll send you. All right.
I do love the St. Michael necklace, but I got to buy one anyway because I got someone who's messy.
Okay. Well, I'll send you one. This one anyway. All right. Love it. Bye. That was my sister. So, and no, I'm sorry. That was wrong. So Shannon gets a big fat F. But it's all good. Folks, you got to call in. You got to hurry up because the time's a ticking. I'm running out of time. TikTok. 502-531-3827. 502-531-3827. You got to give me an answer. www what? What is the www? Come on, folks. Don't you want this Benediction necklace? You get this beautiful Benediction necklace right there, by God. Shannon says she got a fine and dandy. Yeah, Wilma's doing great, by the way. She's doing much better. Thank God. So what is the name of the company that sponsors the show? 713, area code 713. Yep, you are on the air. Who is this, please?
This is Tanya from Texas.
Well, hello, Tanya from Texas. Texas is rocking the stove. It's okay, Tanya. What do you got for us?
KGRADB.
You have got a winner. Tanya is the winner. So Tanya, I'm going to send you this absolute beautiful necklace. Are you watching us on TikTok? Or are you watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter?
TikTok.
Well, TikTok. There you go, TikTokers. I just there's a little bit of a delay, but she'll see this in just a second. You're going to get this. Make sure you send me an email on a message there on Facebook.com/Bishop James Long and say, hey, I'm Tanya. I won the necklace. I'll send it to you Monday. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate it.
Happy New Year's.
Okay. Thank you too. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, folks, I have to wrap things up because we got to go. I want to thank you so much for being here. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I tell you all the time. I tell all of you guys, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Remember, you're priceless, and never let anybody convince you otherwise. Happy New Year's. We'll see you Sunday. The Sacred Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.